YouTube family, what's good? What's good? So let's kick it. I got this map, right? This little flat Earth map, and it appears to be a French map from 16th or 17th century, around there. One thing I noticed with this map also is that Australia wasn't properly or fully discovered yet. So if you notice, you'll see this like dark ass outline right here, and then the rest of it is faint. Possibly meaning, I'm not totally positive, but possibly meaning it wasn't fully discovered. Anyway, one of the things I wanted to point out were certain things that I recognized with the map, right? With this old map. So if you look, this is a map of antiquity, right? We know that. Let me go ahead and see if we could kind of fix the focus on this. Okay, there it is. If you look at the middle of Africa, right here, Niger is in this region, right? Niger and Nigeria. Niger up north, Nigeria down south, right? Along the northwestern border coast right here. So there's this river, and it's called the Niger River. This big ass thing, right? And in French, they call it Negriti, right here. So it also, what it looks like is, it doesn't give these bodies of water names, but they just run right here and empty out into the Atlantic, right? And then you see the names that they have for it. Out west, l'Océan Occidental, and then l'Océan Oriental. So Orient east to the right, the Eastern Ocean, and then the Western Ocean, right? So they're looking at it from a different perspective as opposed to what us in the North American continent would consider east and west. Either way, if you look at all these bodies of water. Now we know that us on the true Earth, typically, we have we have our Capricorn, Tropic of Capricorn right here. We have our tropic, which the tropics are already named. We have our equator, right, in the middle. And then we have our Tropic of Cancer up here. And so when the sun does its circuit throughout the year, so for 6 months up and then 6 months back down to the Tropic of Capricorn, right, it sits heavily in this region on Africa, in this area. So between between fall, summer, and spring and summer, right here, back and forth. It's going up, whoop, 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 then back down, whoop, whoop, whoop. So all this is getting all kinds of light and all kinds of heat. So that, let me go ahead and go over here. If you look, the sun makes its loop right up here. And then it burns through Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Sudan, Chad, Libya, Niger, Algeria, Morocco, Tunisia, and Western Sahara, Mauritania. It's crazy because back then you had this body of water, which right now you don't have that body of water no more. It's gone. It's gone. But then we're learning now that Mauritania also had the Eye of the Sahara. So you had all these geographical anomalies, right? Like right there, boom, Eye of the Sahara. And then apparently, based off of what some Greek scholars said, the Eye of the Sahara was full of water, had fountains. One side was hot, the other side was cold. Some cataclysm happened, and then everything emptied out into the Atlantic. So then, with us knowing that, or with that amount of knowledge that we then have, where did this come from? Is this what remained after the cataclysm, right? Or was the that Eye of the Sahara just something all on its own? Like that whole region, this whole eyelid part, that whole area, like right here, All of that right here was that the only thing that had water. And then something happened, and then it empties out into the Atlantic Ocean from there to there, right? Okay, let's continue. Also, what I found is Algeria, Libya, you have more of these anomalies, right? So what's going on there in Libya? Let's see, Libya would be up and around here. Tunisia would be like right here. And let's shrink this down. I apologize. Tunisia is not down here. Excuse me. Tunisia's up here. My bad. And then Libya is right south. Right, yeah, okay, so right around here. And big giant body of water. But Libya is a bone dry desert. Libya is a bone dry desert. Bone dry. But then you have this right here. You have this right here. And then, okay. Look at that. Look at that. Man, all these changes in the continent of Africa. It's bone dry. Bone dry. Right? Look at that. This is what I love about old maps. It'll give you details and features that you don't have on the latest map of the continents, right? And even though this was, I guess they were rediscovering the continent of Africa, it was just a totally different place. Totally different. Like, let's look in here in the Red Sea. The Red Sea, typically, it gets super narrow right here, right? And this is like the Red Sea, then you've got the Gulf of Aden and stuff, and then you've got the Straits of Mamalamedeb, whatever, Mandalib, whatever. You guys that have been in the Red Sea, y'all know what I'm talking about. Strait of Mamalamedeb, right? But look at how much more open it is, where now, if we look at it, look at how narrow it is. You could see how narrow the strait is. Isn't that crazy? It's changed. So there's a possibility that much of Djibouti and Eritrea probably didn't exist. Right? Let's continue. Oh, here's another feature that I found interesting. Right here. Right? So the Persian Gulf. Persian Gulf right there. We know that you have Dubai, you have UAE, and this area. Everybody's familiar with over here. Everybody's familiar with right here. Everybody's familiar with that. But right here, it's missing. I just think that's crazy as hell, man. The Joker ain't even here. It's not even here. And that's a super prominent feature because that creates the Strait of Hormuz. Right? It gives us this right here. Everybody knows the straits got all kinds of craziness going on, man. There's all kinds of craziness going on in the straits these days. And, you know, these faux wars, and we have these faux enemies, right, between us and the Iranians and stuff like that. But the Straits of Hormuz, a lot of shipping goes on in here, but it doesn't exist right here. It's just the Persian Gulf. Or it's the Arabian Sea, whatever you want to call it, right? All this, wide open, wide open. And then another thing is, maybe not. Yeah, maybe not. The Caspian, even though it's right here, they typically like to call it landlocked. I guess you could call it landlocked, but over here, the Caspian empties out. looks like in the Bering Sea, the Barents Sea, excuse me. I think that's the Barents. Yep, it's the Barents Sea, my bad. The Bering Sea, the Barents Sea. Empties out from here, empties out, boom, into the Barents. Isn't that crazy? But it don't exist no more. And everybody assumes it's totally landlocked. It's completely landlocked. So we're told. Obviously, I've never been inside of Iran, and I've never been to the Caspian Sea. Though they call it landlocked, emptied out. Wow, that's a lot of territory to cover. Oh, let's talk about Russia real fast. Let's talk about Russia. If you guys don't know, this is a crazy part of this map. Jesus, I wish y'all could see it. So, you can't see it. I wish you could, but right here, if you could see, Tartary. 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 Tartary, Western Tartary. Eastern Tartary. Tartary Oriental. Tartary Occidental. Right here. Tartary. All of this is Greater Tartary. All of that doesn't even exist on the maps no more. You ask any layperson, they don't know what the hell a Tartary is. They might think you're talking about sauce that you put on top of a fish or some other kind of delicious seafood. That's the Tartary that they know. Before being introduced to True Earth, that's the Tartary that I knew as well. But instead, we've got Russia, Eurasia, Russia, all of this, Russia, 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 Mongolia, China, Nepal, Kyrgyzstan, right? All of this is Russia. All of that Russia claims. All of this, at one time, Tartary. Isn't that crazy? Anyway, YouTube family, that's all I got. The more stuff I find, the more I'll kind of go over with y'all, but that's all I got. I'll let y'all ride for the day. Wish y'all nothing but the best. Health, wealth, love, joy, prosperity, all that goodness. Y'all be encouraged. Peace.